It's pizza time, bringing you one of my favorite combos of all time. Potatoes, bacon, and caramelized onions. How could you go wrong? I guess it could be wrong if you're veggie, but it's easily vegified. Just remove that bacon. It's still gonna be a bomb pie. I got the whole rainbow of potatoes today. I was so stoked cutting into these things that, I mean, this is like 4th of July vibes. If you're living in the future, this would be a bomb 4th of July pie because they got red, white, and blue. These are from a farm out in Arvin. That's like kind of over the grapevine from Santa Barbara, about 70 miles away. But check them out. Those blue ones are rad. So how I do this, I just roast them up whole. These are little guys. You know, the spring, you always want to use that super fresh. The older potatoes don't taste very good on the pizza. Roast them in the oven, 400 till they're, you know, you can pierce them right through. And then I just dice them up like this, seasoned heavily with salt. Always want a well-salted potato. Caramelized onions. I cook these down. I didn't go super dark for a pizza. I like them a little bit on the lighter side because they're going to cook more in the oven. They're no good when they burn. These are just, I mean, get really bomb onions, cook them down simply in a big pan. It's always crazy though how little you end up with. This one produced pretty good. It's 2 onions. Not gonna go all of it on the pizza, but it's super good on all sorts of stuff. Then the bacon. I like my bacon a little crispy, so I render this down about 50% cook on it, I'd say. Just in a little saute pan, making sure it doesn't get too dark, but you know, cook some of that fat out of there. You could definitely put that fat down on the bottom of the pizza if you want. And then here is the, to just make it a little more fun, I'm throwing some dates in the mix. If you've never seen this before, it's actually really good on a pizza. The first time I saw it, I think, is up at Full Life Flatbread up in Los Alamos, California. I mean, that place is like major inspiration for me. Clark there is just an awesome human being doing so much for the food world. And he puts it on a pizza similar, but it's a bacon and date. He uses Coachella Valley dates, which these are actually too. I think there's some little blue cheese on the mix on that one. Really good. Then down here in Santa Barbara, another one of my favorite spots, Bettina, the homies, they do a potato pizza that oftentimes includes dates on it. It's really bomb. It's one of my favorite pizzas on the menu. It's not on there all the time because those guys are legit. They only use like the real good potatoes, and when it's out of season or they can't find really good ones, no mas. But we're gonna get this all loaded up on the pizza along with, I got some fresh mozz and also doing a mix. I got a little bit of cubed up Fontina and aged mozz. I like a little more interesting flavors going on with potato pizza. Taleggio, any of those funky cheeses, that's what Bettina does. It's really fun in there. Then, of course, season with salt and pepper. I'm gonna get this dough stretched out, loaded up into the oven, give it a taste. Can't wait, pizza time. It's pizza time. I'm gonna start building this potato, bacon, and caramelized onion pizza. Forgot to mention too, I got some garlic in the mix. That's always like a fun flavor to add in with potatoes, I think. I always put it at the bottom though so it doesn't burn, or at least less of a chance to. I got the Ooni Koda 16 heating up right now. I got it about like quarter way up. I'm shooting for center deck around 850, but you know, depending on your location, it might be a little different. I'm gonna hit it with the, you know what, actually I'm not. Important deal. If you're using the dates, the key thing is to also, like the garlic, put this on the bottom so it doesn't burn, because all the sugar and the dates caramelizes up real quick, and sometimes it can make for a burn one. We want these to be like nice and soft and sweet. You know, make sure each slice gets a bite. That looks pretty good, if a bit generous. All right, that looks good to me. All right, now with the caramelized onions, gonna go pretty fat on this. It's just nice, it adds a whole lot of richness. There's no like butter or anything in here. I mean, onions have so much moisture in them, it like almost cooks down to like a creamy consistency. I just started off with a little bit of oil to get things working and then just let it cook down. You know, I think this took like a couple hours, but you know, it just depends on how much you got in your oven. All right, this is looking, oh, hopefully I didn't hit it with, there we go. It just docked. You know, have you ever seen that? You dock in a pie, you put a fork through it so it doesn't, or you have a docker, make sure it doesn't puff up. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's go cheese now. Like I said, I'm using a mix of the fresh mozz today and also some aged cheeses. break that one up. On these white pies, I'm less concerned about like how the cheeses are arranged as much. I just want to make sure I get coverage. On a marg or something like that, those red pies, I like that look of like a little more splotchy kind of thing going on. So I'm taking more care where I'm putting it. But this is looking pretty good. Maybe a little fatty on the cheese because we got this other stuff going. It's just a mix of fontina and some aged mozz, filling in the gaps there. Looking pretty good. I stretch this out. I shoot for like, you know, a 12, 13 inch pie. And I always understretch on the marble because once you get it on the peel, that's your one last chance, and you can kind of circle it back off, make sure it's a nice size that you want, and if you're overstretched, sometimes you can run into some issues then. Get this loaded up. Surprisingly, a lot. You can handle quite a bit of potatoes on a pizza. My first time having a potato pizza, I thought it was a little suspect. Seems like heavy or something, but these eat so light, and it's such a classic good combo. Definitely worth trying if you never tried it before. That's looking pretty good to me. All right, gonna finish it with some bacon. Like I said, I rendered this down about 50% cook on that, just so maybe it crisp up a little bit in the oven a little more. But do as you like. You know, some people just like bigger chunks that are a little softer. Do what you like. That's what I always say. Always on any pizza, especially with potatoes, salt, pepper. All right, gonna get this thing off the marble, onto the peel, load it up into the oven, and let's watch this thing bake. Getting this thing off the marble and into the uni. A little bit of potato falling off one last time to stretch. Make sure it's nice and round. It's looking, you know, this is a 14-inch peel. It's almost maxed out on there. One last little topping arrangement. Looking pretty good. Maybe it could be rounder. Oh God, let's get this going before it sticks. Alright, grab my timer, get this thing baking. Looking good so far. The load went all right. You know, I feel like that peel's maybe a little bit sticky, or maybe I'm just not using it right. I like these perf ones, but this one's a little smaller. I've been using it as my turning peel. Looking pretty good. I'm seeing some leoparding on the back there. We're in about 20 seconds minus or plus that little bit of delay getting my timer on. Looking pretty good. Gonna turn this down, making sure it doesn't burn. I see that flame kicking up in there. About 36. I'm maybe gonna start peeping, maybe going in for a turn here. All right. Wish me luck. The turn going. Yeah, look at that one. Pretty, really nice. Up to almost a minute now. I like to bake a little bit lower temp, 850 in the middle of the oven, maxing out there, and go for a little longer bake. Maybe around 3 minutes. Always taking care when you're turning. If you go in too early, you can rip a hole in there. You're definitely having a bad day when that happens. Baking up real nice, leoparding, looking pretty good. See how this batch of dough, I've been working with my mix a bit, trying to dial it in for this oven. So it's interesting to see every time how it changes. I'm on day 2 of the fermentation here. It's looking pretty good to me. I like those little small leoparding. You know, a couple big ones. I don't like those big fatty ones as much because they burn, but those little spots definitely good. All right, going in. We're up to 145, probably pushing in on 2 minutes actually. Got to get my timer set up better. The bake's looking really good on this. That crust is setting up. Yeah, look at, I wish you guys could see in there a little bit better, but it's nice and brown. That's what I'm looking for. I want a set bottom. I want to be able to pick that up. This thing's loaded with all those potatoes, bacon, caramelized onions. I want to make sure that holds out. It dumps out and I'm eating it with a fork. I want it on the slice. Looking pretty good. Oh, bringing it out. Like, I'm seeing some darker spots there. We're up to 220. You can kind of move the pie too, right to the opening of the oven. Let it kind of finish up if you have some brain. Like, here's a little of that bubble. That's looking like it's charring up a little too much. I'm gonna rest it right here on the edge. Let it finish up. We're almost at 3 minutes. Looking pretty good to me. That bottom I think I'm about ready to pull this thing. Just want to make sure that crust is set. Looking pretty good. Gonna pull this thing out, let it rest. I'm hitting it with chives at the end. You know, it's like that kind of like, reminds me of like, there's so many different things with that, like sour cream, onion kind of vibes going, or just potatoes and bacon. How could you go wrong? We're a little over 3 minutes. I'm pulling it out. Here we go. All right, look at that thing. That looks really good to me. Bake looks nice, a little dark over on the edge right here, but you know, we're still getting this oven dialed. It's going straight up onto the rack like I do with all my pizzas. Always want to let them hang out, let that crust set extra. That's going to prevent you from it just falling apart. It needs a second, you know, like 20 seconds to a minute. That pizza's so hot coming out of that oven. You're going to be all good if you let it hang for a minute. Let that sit. Gonna hit it with some chives, slice it up, and let's have a taste of this thing. It's looking firemost. This is looking firemost, looking pretty good to me on this bake. A little bit dark over here. I think I've shoved it back a little bit long on the bake in the back little corner there. It was around 3 minutes, 30 seconds, I'm thinking on this one. Looks really nice, that leopardine on there. This is sourdough, naturally fermented crust. It bakes up pretty nice to me, liking all that coloring. I like that longer bake, going for a little bit crispier bottom. Hold all these really good toppings go on here. We go a little big on the toppings, so you want that structure. I got this thing on the bottom, some garlic for health, some dates. That's like kind of the fun thing, a little sweetness in there. And then the caramelized onions. I baked those, or actually, I cooked them on the stovetop. Cooked those down till they're so sweet and caramely, so headies. Then we got the potatoes roasted, diced up, got the whole red, white, and blue. Like I said, make this for 4th of July, and you might be the hit of your pizza party. Looks pretty good. And then the bacon. You can skip it if you're vegetarian, but that smokiness in there, it's pretty bomb. Let me give this thing a taste. I think I'm gonna go for this one right here. Looking pretty good to me on the pickup. Yeah, see, look at that. That's what I'm looking for. I want a piece of pizza that you can pick up like that. See if you can see the bottom that browned. You wanna check on that bottom and make sure that bottom's fully set before you pull it out. Taken care of though, not burned, like a little dark here, but not too bad. Maybe border, not a refire on that, but that looks good. This thing's loaded. Potatoes are so heavy. I'm into it. Let me give it a taste. Oh, wow. This is such a delicious pizza. I make variations of this kind of style on the reg. I love a potato and onion pizza. This one is really good. Man, it's so creamy and rich with the potatoes just kind of melt in your mouth. And those caramelized onions, sweet, but just add that, you know, full little onion flavor along with the chives, like that sour cream and chives kind of vibe thing going to the bacon, smoky. Really good, really into this pizza. The dates in there, that is just like that little like secret thing that brings it to a whole nother level. I really encourage you to give that a try on your pizza. The dates are a ton of fun. Hope everybody's eating lots of good pizza. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy this. I got tons more pizza content on the way, baking up the firemost pizzas and the Ooni Koda or whatever you guys got. Bake that pizza, fire it up. I'll keep you guys informed with the latest pizza recipes and whatever I can do to guide you on your journey to great pizza. SantaBarbaraBaker.com. I got the recipe up. Stay healthy. One love. Eat lots of pizza. Oh my God, I can't wait for this thing. It looks so good. Look at the bottom. One love.